Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L. Now let's talk Shokugeki no Soma chapter 261. The chapter is pretty much the harbinger of a massive stripping event that's about to happen in that stadium. Yeah man, 261. It's a chapter that Azami finally eats his daughter's cooking, and it gives us a few things. Overall, like, I'm looking through the chapter and I do think on the surface it's pretty simple, just because at this point it's just confirming a few things. We get to see the metaphor, which I was very happy with. We get to see just some of Azami's rationale again further explained, and now at this point, because the recent chapter already gave us so much information that we can make our assumptions about what exactly Azami was doing, it's just confirming Azami's overall plans, or like how he's overall seeing things from an emotional perspective. The good things about that is that during that sequence we get to see some really choice faces for Azami, and I do want to congratulate the art on that one. Like, man, the Azami disgust face is amazing. This is just pretty cool to look at, so really cool on that side. And otherwise it's just Irina versus Azami. It's just seeing these two face down. With Irina, we can also talk about, well, hey, she's copying not copying, but she's taking a lot of inspiration from Soma. And she like declares her particular specialty, delinquent daughter style. I know it's like Soma, it's a parallel to Soma's rambunctious youth style or something like that. I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting that they've ultimately gone for more mischievous titles over something a little bit more grandiose. But that's fine. When we go to, you know, it's just like, it's also matching with, I guess, just the metaphor that Elena ends up going through now that she's going into like those little mischievous angel imps. It's really just a callback to what Soma's done for the girl. At this point though, like, I don't know how much we can deny that Soma and Irina are special. Well, maybe not Soma. Maybe Irina holds Soma in a special place in her heart. I don't know if we can really deny that anymore. Anyway, it's a simple chapter. One of the big points, aside from everything else, I guess where I would want to start is just on Azami real quick, because Azami was the interesting one, obviously, because he's the one fighting it, and we know at the end of the chapter things that are blowing up because people's clothes are just leaving their bodies at an exceeding rate. It's one of the things that Azami was saying here in this awesome page. It's just, we know what he's worried about. He doesn't want the chefs to have to be destroyed by their own art. And so it's just interesting the words that he's using here. Like when he says the chefs that allow themselves to become inflamed with passion. This is pretty interesting, right? Like, he wants to take away the passion from chefs because he's at this point acknowledged, like, well, hey, if we just do things like this, we will never have to worry about people not being able to properly probably appreciate what we're able to do. Again, like, this is all things that we know. It's just like with this fine little bit, it's just showing how much of Azami's own emotions are being involved there, and it does again just confirm that Azami is looking out for the mental health of the chefs. Mind you, I think because Soma is so exaggerated with the effects of cooking, I think the mental effects on the chefs themselves are exaggerated as well to some degree. I mean, I do believe that everyone in any higher profession will almost always feel the pressure of their profession on them, but after a certain point, like, what can you really do? It's, if you're in a high level profession, or even with cooking, if you're cooking for if you're like high-end cooking, like, pressure is always going to be on you. I don't think you should ever be in a spot where you don't feel some degree of pressure. But all things considered, this is just one of those points when you like considered that Azami was doing this for relatively not good reasons. When he was doing this when this was coming out as some kind of, how would I say it? When there is emotion behind it, when there was some degree of a legitimate good intention here, and that being like reducing the stress on chefs. I think about the way Totsuki does things, and it's like, really, Azami's system isn't that bad. It might not work for a system like Totsuki, right? Because we knew from like some beginning that it was flawed, right? When you look at the Elite 10 system, for instance, the Elite 10 were decided, hey, these guys are true gourmet. They can go and they can teach everyone else in the school. The problem with that particular system was like the Elite 10 all were created through the Totsuki system. They were all people who came to that point through experience. So when Azami effectively allows those Elite 10 to be the people in charge, he's pretty much denying the process that created the Elite 10 in them themselves. So that's where I think like the problems for Central really originate. Like they ignored that the people at the top went through the wilderness that Azami wants to eliminate. And it's just, this chapter again, it's just confirming it, because like he's aware that Saiba went through the wilderness and was crushed, and now he wants to just ignore that and just create a world like how he says is that's hale and hearty, or hardy, none shall suffer. Pretty, again, nice thoughts, and again, I do think the central system can work. It just might not be able to work in Totsuki unless they decide to split the system. You can go into like the revolutionary stream, or you can go into the I'm just gonna learn what other people have done stream. And like really, when you look at the like nameless peons that are in the stadiums, really the vast majority of the nameless peons, they're the ones that really need the central stream, because otherwise they pretty much are just, they're not that noteworthy, right? They're not the people that are going to be in the autumn election. They're not the people that are going to be in any shape or form special. They could really use the system that Azami could bring in. Like again, Central works when it's not showing Azami's megalomaniac tendencies. Otherwise, the only other big note, aside from like people are getting stripped right now in the stadium and Azami's face, is just Erina. Like we said before, like Erina is taking some notes from Soma, and I really do enjoy the metaphor. We start in the Garden of Eden, and now this meal is able to ascend the kid or the judges into heaven itself. So that's pretty cool. The only other thing is that it's kinda like, for the metaphor itself, it's not really using anything about the ingredients. It's just kind of using the kids' personalities. So I don't know, I think there could be a statement to be said about that. Like, you know, it's the dishes are really showing what Soma and Erina are, as opposed to Tsukasa and Rendo's dishes, which showed what the ingredients were. So that's, I think, an interesting contrast to have. But otherwise, yeah, this chapter of Soma I feel was very simple compared to other chapters. I think it was very fun. I think it was cool to see what Erina was doing, and I'm ultimately really happy with it. And without a doubt, it is a very beautiful chapter. Like, between the orgasm pages, between the Azami is being really stubborn pages, I think this was a very good chapter. I'm very excited to see everyone in that room being stripped next episode. I want to see the kids in the cage being stripped. I want to see the judges being stripped. I want to see Senzaemon being stripped. Man, if Saiba's there, I want to see some bestowing happen. Man, I'm excited. But anyway, guys, till next time, I hope you have a great day.